Alright, today I'm going to be starting the build on my truck. This was a last minute build. If you guys aren't watching my TikTok, here's a little update basically of what's happening. This box was originally in my LS400 with these Sundown U10s. I'll put pictures and videos, I guess, up on the screen right now of what it looked like, what it sounded like. It's a pretty insane build for just two 10s.
Yeah, you feel right, so stay inside. Let me crawl. Like me to be so mean, all out.
I want to bump up in cone area, maybe a little bit of power in this car, which, with that being said, doing a rebuild deems these subs and this box completely useless. And if you guys know anything about selling audio equipment secondhand, especially stuff of this quality, trying to sell it secondhand doesn't work all the time. Number one, because audio equipment loses its value the second you throw power to it. And then number two, you got people that really don't know what they're looking at trying to lowball you, so it's really kind of just useless sometimes to try to sell some of this stuff. So I figured, what better way to make use of this now useless audio equipment than to do a build in my Silverado. Now, this idea couldn't have worked more perfectly. Well, let me show you. Took the interior part, took the center console out, and this box just so happened to fit sitting all the way up against the back seat, up to right there on the trans tunnel, so the lip where the factory center console would sit, perfect. The box sitting subs up port to the back, it's the exact same width as the factory center console, and then the ports perfectly under the back seat so it can load off of the back wall and kind of build pressure under the back seat. So I built this little stop, I guess you could say, to make the box sit level, and then my fabricator built me these beautiful aluminum brackets to mount it with the factory bolt hole locations on the factory center console. So it literally couldn't work more perfect. So today I'm gonna get the box ready for some paint. I'm doing away with the splatter paint. I already started sanding it just a little bit, but I want to do some body filler in some areas to make it smooth. Also fill in these little gaps and stuff right there. And then probably paint it gloss black, put a 2K clear coat on it just so it's super shiny, looks super nice. So with that being said, we got a lot of work to do in this truck now, so let's get started on it. All right, we're gonna start with body filling over here where this Down for Sound logo was. I'm just gonna use the cheap stuff, some Bondo. I guess with that little extra bit that I have, I'll try to make this look a little smoother. All right, I did some sanding off camera. A little smoother, not perfect. Again, doesn't need to be perfect, just needs to be better than what it was. Now I'm gonna take some of this sanding sealer and go over the bare MDF just so the paint sticks better to it. The issue is with bare MDF and trying to spray paint it is that it's very porous, or I guess that would be the word for it, I don't know for sure. Essentially, the paint, as soon as it lays, it just soaks it in, and you're never going to get a solid color out of it because the MDF is just going to soak it all up. So that is the point of the sanding sealer, is to just basically fill in all the little gaps, make it one solid piece, and then the paint lays down super clean after the fact. And all I'm doing to apply it is dabbing a little shop rag in there, and then just kind of dabbing it in, wiping it in. Typically I do this with like a foam brush, but I ran out of those, so this works. But I'm just going to go over all the edges and all of the bare MDF. This already has sanding sealer on it, so I should be good there, but I'm just going to do these. Then I'll come back, do a second coat, and then we should be able to actually go ahead and paint it. All right, I got 2 coats on all the edges. Basically, the easiest way you can tell if you got enough, it's typically 2 to 3 coats, but the MDF will be slightly darker and it will have a kind of shiny finish if I can get the lighting right. I ended up putting another coat across the entire box, even on the painted parts, just because I have noticed when you come back through and sand it down for like your final sand, it comes out just ever so slightly smoother. All right, yesterday when I got back from dinner, I ended up primering the box. I didn't get it on film, but I mean, it is just primer. The only issue that I'm having right now is the primer cracking all right here, which honestly is fine if that's the only spot that I'm having issues with. So we're gonna sand that down a little bit more, put another coat over it, and then I still need a primer underneath the little stop that I made. But past that, I mean, we're ready to throw the base coat on. However, I am gonna back this car out because it's about to rain, so we're gonna do it all inside. First, we're gonna tackle these cracks. I'm just gonna hit it with this 120 grit pad for my sander, but I'm gonna do it by hand. I guess there's one right here too, and these little marks. I don't know where these came from. All right, just hit down here with a little coat. And honestly, I'm not gonna worry about up here hitting it again with the primer. I am just using basic Rust-Oleum acrylic black paint, so it should cover that up perfectly fine. I got the Lexus running and the heat on full blast on the floor. Heat up the paint a little bit, make it stick easier. All right, I got some 800 grit right here. I'm gonna go through and sand the box down to get it ready for the base coat. Now I'm gonna take this tack cloth and get it all cleaned off, ready for paint. So I was just picking that stuff up right there. All right, we're just gonna do a light tack coat with this. All right, I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm also gonna get the bottom of it off camera, because that's kind of a pain with this thing. And then we'll come back and do a heavier second coat, and potentially a third coat if I can do it, so. All right, it's dry to the touch, so I'm gonna go back through and do a second coat. I'm not gonna film it since it is basically the same thing, but this coat I will make a little bit heavier. All right, second coat is down. You can see I laid it just a little bit heavier. I am gonna go back in for a third coat. I probably don't need to, and you're probably not even gonna see it, but the issue is with spraying with spray paint is that because the spray pattern is so thin, tend to get lines sometimes, especially when you have a white undercoat, which granted, you probably can't see it, especially because I use black primer. But because of that, I'm gonna go in and do a third coat, but I'm gonna do opposite direction just so it has a little cross hatching to it, and then you'll probably never know. All right, going in for the last coat of base. So the last 2 coats, I was going this way. So now I'm gonna go up and down like this, like I said, and you can kind of probably see it in this lighting. You can see the lines. So if I go this way, it'll fill in all the gaps. Probably something you won't see once I lay down the clear, but it's always better to be safe than sorry. While that's drying, I'm gonna take the Lexus out, go get some food. It's been sitting for about 2 weeks, so might as well let it spread its wings a little bit. Now with this car, I haven't fully decided what I want to do with the rebuild yet. The original plan was to run 2 Audio Ace Wild 12s on a JP23 apiece, and I was going to do that in a 6th order or a 4th order blow through the trunk. Because if you guys know anything about LS400s, the cab is pretty much completely sealed off from the trunk. Gas tank sits right behind the back seat, and then the rear deck lid, the only, like, I guess, access hole would be the factory 8-inch sub. So to mitigate that, with the last setup, I cut holes in the rear deck lid and then built myself a little trim piece just to clean it up, I guess, which it worked great. I mean, you guys saw in the clips earlier. So the 4th order and the 6th order, having all the sound coming through the port, then I could seal off everything around the port, and then it would only build pressure in the cab, which realistically would make it a lot more efficient and a lot louder. But now I'm kind of thinking go more sound quality with it. Like do 2 JL TW3s and little corner boxes in the trunk. Then if I do that, I can do a whole trunk setup because I want to put this car on bags eventually. It'll look sick, it'll sound good. Then I'll do like a little 3-way component set in the front. I don't know, I'm still trying to figure that out, honestly. And now this is gonna be a little yap sesh, but I think I also want to put my Built 2J that I was gonna put in my IS300 in here, which means this car is going to sit for a minute. So realistically, which one do I really want to do more? I mean, that motor is a built top to bottom GE. It has JE 9.5-to-1 compression pistons, JE rods, BC cams, big single turbo. I'm kind of wanting to make this an all-around car. Fast, a little stancy, good sound system. This car is probably going to go through an entire rebuild and not just the system. All right, now that this paint has dried, I'm going to come through and sand down with some 800 grit. Now, let me preface this. I am not a painter by any stretch of the imagination, so this is not going to be perfect, but it's going to look pretty good, and that's all I want. All right, now that it's all sanded down, I am going to take some Sprayway glass cleaner and wipe it down with that and then hit it with the tack rag. The reason for using the Sprayway glass cleaner specifically is because it's ammonia free, so it won't leave like a residue, and then hitting it with the tack rag after will obviously enhance that effect, I guess you could say. And since this is a 2K clear, it does have a hardener, so you take that little red piece off of the cap and smash it down onto there, and then it infuses the hardener, and then you're good to spray, but you gotta shake it up real good too. Just like the base coat, I did a light tack coat on it, so I'll wait about 10 minutes, let it dry, and then I'll come back, do the second coat, just a little bit heavier. All right. Got the second coat on. I think I'm just gonna do, I don't know, one more coat, mainly on the top. I want the top to be as shiny as possible. The rest doesn't matter too much. It'll be covered up by the truck. Haven't decided fully if I want to go through and wet sand and polish this yet, but honestly, I don't think it'll be needed. This isn't a show build, number one, and then number two, I mean, it is a daily driver, so it's gonna get some abuse. But putting a clear coat on it will certainly make it look better than just the paint by itself. So just got done with that final coat of clear. Now I'm gonna go around and take off all of the masking tape on the brackets. And then tomorrow morning I'll get back to you guys so we can see what it looks like all dried up. Don't mind the airbag light. That is because the passenger seat ate in. But this is the state of my interior right now. I definitely need to deep clean the crap out of these carpets before I put the box back in. It's the next morning. We need to get a monster. I'm fucking tired, but after we get back from this gas station, then we can go back and look at what the box looks like. Again, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to wet sand and polish the box to begin with, because I mean, this truck is a daily driver, so it's just gonna get beat up anyway. So it's probably better just not. There we go. Yes, sir. Let's get back to the garage and see what this box looks like, but I don't have cup holders, so I got to hold this the entire way back. We're gonna figure that out in a future video. Here it is. Definitely got some orange peel. Definitely got some rough spots like up here. That was my screw up. But honestly, again, I'm not a painter, so it doesn't have to be perfect. That is gonna be it for this video. This box turned out fucking sick. I'm gonna make this a video series, putting this system in this truck because I'm doing the whole thing, man. Alternator, big three, you name it, I'm doing it. Mids and highs, I'm probably gonna do a three-way component set in the front. This is my daily driver, so I wanna make it kind of fun to listen to, I guess. Anyways, that'll be it for this video.